Hello everyone, welcome back to another The Walking Dead New Frontier or Season 3, even though I don't really matter right now that I say that. Today we're going to talk about a choice. I don't know what they called it. What did they call the video? This stuff. They called it like The Walking Dead A New Frontier, Your Choices. So this shows a little bit of episode 5, and they kind of leaked some choices. Not really leaked, but like some minor choices, I believe. They're minor, which I'm not happy they did, but since they showed it, I might as well talk about it. So if you guys don't want to watch this, because they do show like a choice graph between choice, which I really am pissed that they show it, because I felt like they should show it like after the season, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna let you guys watch it first. So yeah.
You know, I pray for daughters. Every night your mother was pregnant with both of you. Please, God, a daughter. Anything but a son. Anything but another me. Legacy, Javier. It's all anyone leaves behind. Be brothers before it's too late.
This season is absolutely about family, and family is about what you bring to it.
At the end of the day, it's a study of humanity and what we really are at our core and where our values lie. And in particular, the question of what is more important, survival or empathy, your life or your soul. And the choices that reflect that, I find, are usually our most powerful. At the very least, are the ones that I remember the most, and I think it's the ones that our fans remember the most as well.
What's important to you is going to be a life or death decision to someone else. You're going to make decisions that lead to characters living, characters dying, and it's going to be about what you care about as a person.
The secrets that you have created, the seeds of emotion that we have planted, whether you knew it or not, are all going to be brought to light here.
One moment can blossom into a completely different emotional experience with a character. Players oftentimes do a thing that they know is going to have consequences, but they can't not be true to the character that they feel they've created. Like my Javi loves Kate, and I don't care if my brother loses his shit. We want to play with that tension. We want the player to kind of choose between what they think might be right and what they know they must do.
We think a lot about the player experience, that they have appealing choices, but appealing doesn't always mean pleasant. Appealing doesn't always mean fun. Appealing might mean the lesser of two evils.
We want to give you these, as we like to call them, rage pausers, where you pause the game, you throw it on your controller, and you take a walk around the house because you can't decide what you want to do. And there are more moments like that in our finale, so get ready to press that pause button.
Okay, so I already took down my notes, and I'm going to be talking to you about the overall thing, and then, yeah. Now, obviously, there is going to be a episode 5 flashback in the very beginning. It will be taking place after, I believe, David and Javier were at the baseball field. That's what I'm thinking. It could be before, but I'm thinking that it's after, because that would kind of make more sense. But then again, it could be before, like, the dad was like, hey, you guys should go play baseball and have fun, and then that's the way I see it. The timeline really doesn't matter. All we know is just it's before he died, obviously. So the whole point of that flashback is the dad trying to tell David and Javier to make peace before it goes crazy and you guys will have to split up or go against each other, which is in the situation we are in with right now, with Kate and Javier wanting to date with each other. Now, there were some people talking about this season, and they basically talked about this season being about family, which was something they mentioned before a lot, which I know that's a big role in this game, obviously. And they mentioned about empathy or survival, so we definitely will see that in episode 5 for sure. And then life or death situation. I'm assuming they were referring to before episodes of like Ava and Trip. That's what I'm thinking. And secrets. This is what we mean by secrets with Kate. Now there is a choice graph chart, what they call it, that shows what will happen if you kiss Kate. I'm not sure if this happens if you choose all of them or just like one. I'm assuming it happens with just all of them, and I have all of them, so this is gonna be a little bit bad for my case. Kiss Kate, hold Kate's hand, pursue Kate. Wait, kiss Kate in episode 1, hold Kate's hand in episode 3. Oh no, episode 2. I mean, sorry. Pursue Kate in episode 3, and then it said join Kate in Richmond. Actually, no. Pursuit Key was episode 3. Episode 4. I forgot. They like showed pictures of it. I'm sorry. And then join K enrichment. That's something interesting. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Maybe we have to go to a group. Maybe we have to go with a group, and Kate has happened to be one of the group, and I don't know. It's really confusing because obviously this choice is before the David fight, so this is obviously not the ending. So what could this mean? I personally think that you get a choice to go with Clementine or Kate. That's something I'm thinking of. Even though it's kind of like a weird choice, I don't know. I just have to see it to believe it, but it's definitely a situation where you have to go with someone. Now, if you do all this, you will get a fight with David. And if you don't do them, then you get to make peace with David. And Gabe could either be with David or not with David. Or Gabe could be with Javier and Clem. So that's something to remember. I really hate how they mentioned this, like I said before, because it's kind of like spoilers. But it's whatever. Okay, now they have mentioned big percentage of, like, not big percentage, but like important percentage that they obviously mentioned it for a reason. This will take effect in episode 5. Now, 84% chose Clem, and then 16% chose to live with the family in episode 1. That's a big thing to talk about because, what's the word? Because this will obviously have effect in episode 5, and maybe Gabe will be like, oh, you were with Clementine, you didn't care about us. Or maybe like Kate, or Eleanor, or Trip, if he's still alive. That would be cool, Trip talking about it, depending on the choices. Try to save Ava, and try to save Trip. 56% tried to save Ava, 44% tried to save Trip. Now, this is obviously a determinate character situation, which will have different roles in episode 5. I'm assuming they'll have the same role, but they'll act differently. And depending on the relationship, like Ava and Clementine, and Trip and Eleanor, that will definitely be a big part. Captured Clementine in episode 2, 12% did that, and Shoot Conrad, 88% did that in episode 2. Now, Conrad has been a big thing in episode 3, 4, and 5. Oh, not 5, I mean, like he's going through 5, obviously. They showed a lot of good determinations with Conrad and how useful he could be, and he can die in episode 3 or 4. I'm wondering what his role could be in episode 5, because definitely he's going to be important if he's still alive. He's not going to just sit around. Kill Dr. Lingo. 46% chose to do that, and 52% refused to do it. Now, this is definitely an AJ situation because you can either know information about AJ or not, which definitely could be a big choice in episode 5 if we get to know what AJ is, which I think we'll not get to know either way, but it's still a pretty big choice that Clem still doesn't know what AJ is if you refuse to give the shot. Shot Joan, 55% did that, and take Clint Steele, 45%. Now, I know that if you, depending on choice, I know Clint can die and then Joan will still be alive, or Joan can die and then Clint will still be alive. I think I just said that, you know what I mean. Joan can die or Clint can die, basically that situation. I don't see Clint as a situation, if that makes sense. Joan, I see her as a much bigger threat, but I feel like she'll be like the low standards of Clint in episode 5, definitely. Because she's kind of not in control of Richmond, if that makes sense, by the way everything's going in chaos. Like, is anyone really going to listen to her? The only people I think she will listen is David, even though they try to execute him. But that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, I forgot about this choice. Attack New Frontier or surrender. 58% attacked the New Frontier and 42% surrendered. Now, I'm not sure what effect this could do since Prescott is pretty much a wreck. Maybe this will be like a dialogue difference depending on the situation, if they're trying to defend themselves, trying to say this. I remember, I think they said this in episode 3, if I'm correct, or episode 4. So definitely this will definitely have, I don't see like a gigantic effects, but definitely dialogue effects. Maybe because depending on who you killed at the New Frontier, maybe that'll be its difference. That's what I'm thinking. Now, all these choices I said will definitely have to affect in episode 5 if they mention them for a reason. That's something I'm looking forward to. And there were some sneak peeks of episode 5. It showed Javier in the motorcycle, Clem going like on an airplane wing, and then it definitely shows David getting more aggressive with a crowbar. And I think I said Jesus. Jesus looks really walking awesome. I'm gonna show it here. I'm still confused about the timeline. Is if, by the way it looks with Clem in the motorcycle and Jesus there, it looks like the same timeline. So I don't think nothing really changed. Even though I feel like something changed, I feel like there will be a timeline slip, but I don't know. We'll just have to see it to believe it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.